Okay, I good to hear everyone with great pleasure. We learn our first Mishna Yomis share for the year Tavshin Pei Vav, and we welcome everyone on this Matzi Rosh Hashanah, and we are sponsored Lili Nishmas David Ben Chaim Lefu Shleimer for Yomis Mechai Sorry Yaakov Ben Bas Yalev for the schools of Avram and Yom Benish Ben Malki Yudis and family. We are also sponsored by the Fisher family, the Nishmas Basi Bas Rabbi, Shlomo Ben Avraham Alevi, Perel Bas Ruven, and Neshama Shrav and Aliyah, by Yoel Klugman and family for the Gesund Parnasa and Nachas. We learned the Lefu Shalema from Mishna Ben Esther Fadli, Yitzchak Ben Tzim Ben Dusha, Yafa Malka Esther Bas Leah. We learned for Avigdoraya Ben Rivka, Hinda Bas Chaya Sarah, Yitzchak Ben Tzim Ben Dusha, Rivka Bas Shira Leah, Chana Bas Sheshabina, and Meir Ben Chaya Sarah. They should have a Lefu Shalema B'Seich Shar Chayla Yisrael. So the sifting process, so ha'omer, which was made of barley that has a lot of chaff, ha'yamanufa b'shleish esrei nafa. They had one on top of another, 13 sieves of varying smaller holes. Ushtei alechem, the 2 loaves on Shavuos, was done b'shteim esrei, was done with 12 sieves. V'lechem aponim, the showbread on Shabbos, was done b'achas esrei, with 11 sieves. Reb Shimon says, you know something? There wasn't a fixed amount, 300 rubbings, 500 beatings, 13 sieves. They made sure that the flour was sifted as it was needed. They took fine flour and baked it until it was made into fine flour. But it wasn't a fixed amount. Now we start the 7th parak with a very long Mishnah, a little bit of a detailed Mishnah. The Thanksgiving offering, which had 40 loaves, was a total of 5 sa Yerushalmiyos. Now, this was after they made the sa bigger. In older times, she'ein sheish midbariyos, when the measure was when the measure was smaller, it was 6 sa midbariyos. Now, the 6 sa of the midbariyos were each 3 sa was an ephah. So that means that 6 sa were 2 ephahs. So shtei ephahs. So the 6 sa midbariyos were 2 ephahs. Ha'ephah shalosh son. Each ephah was 3 sa. Now, since 3 sa was an ephah, and an ephah is 10 isarins, so if 3 sa were 10 isarin, so that means that 6 sa was 20 isarin. Esrim isarin, that's 20 isarin. Now, remember there were 40 loaves. There was 10 of them were chametz, and the other 30 were 3 types of matzah. Now the chametz had the same amount, the 10 of chametz had the same amount as the 30 of matzah. So since it was a total of 20 isarin, so asara lechametz, there were 10 isarim for the chametz, v'asara lematzah, and there were 10 isarim for the 3 types of matzah. Asara lechametz, since there were 10 loaves, and then there were 10 isarim, so the chametz stick a loaf, each loaf was an isarim. Isarim lechama, each challah was an isarim. That's easy. Now, v'asara lematzah, there was 10 isarim for the matzah. Now remember that there were three varieties. Uba matzah shloisha minim, there were three varieties. Chalas, urikikin, uravucha. There were loaves, wafers, and the deep fried. Okay, so if there were 10 isarin for 30 chalas, so each 10 got 3 1/3. Nimsu shloisha esrainim ushlish l'chol min. Each 10 got 3 1/3. So if that's the case, if each 10 got 3 1/3, so there was a shalosh chalas li'isarin. Then each 3 chalas of the 10 got an isarin. Now this was the way it worked by the Midbariyos. B'midas Yerushalmiyos. So we said that there are 5 son in the Yerushalmi. Now we know from our travels in Gemara that a saw is 6 kav. So if 5 son, if a saw is 6 kav, so 5 son is 30 kav. So how you shloishim kav? Now since the chametz got half and the matzah got half, so the chametz loaves were 15 kav, and the matzah 30 were 15 kav. Chamisha asa l'chametz, v'chamisha asa l'matzah. Now, it's since there were 10 loaves of chametz and 15 kav, so each loaf was a kav and a half. Chamisha asa l'chametz, kav v'chatzi l'chala. Each loaf was a kav and a half. Now, the 30 also got 15 kav. The chamisha asa l'matzah. Now, remember the matzah had 3 varieties. We have matzah shloisha minim, 3 varieties. Chalas, rikikin, or revucha. Now, together, there were 15 kav. So that means that each 10 got 5 kav, or 2 chalas to a kav. Nimtzu chameshes kavim l'komin. Each of the 3 types had 5 kav. Shtei chalas l'kav, or a half a kav per chala. Okay, now we are going to learn today's Mishnah Yomis. Again, we remind you that tomorrow night, Tzum Gedalia, the Daf Yomi is at 8:45. And you get on the daf by going to zoomdaf.com and putting in capital meeting code, all in caps, my initials RMMW, Rabbi Moshe Meir Weiss. Okay.